Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Friday, 11th April 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. St. Kitts and Nevis' Prime Minister outlines the Federation's position on the CSME, the CARICOM Single Market and Economy. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Two of the critical issues affecting the Federation, the CARICOM free movement of people, as well as regional security, were on the agenda of the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. Glenn Bart of SKN Newsline reports.
At a roundtable with representatives of the St. Kitts and Nevis News Media, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew outlined some of the developments being tackled on a regional basis.
This meeting, we discussed the matter of free movement of CARICOM nationals. I would just like to state categorically that there's a carve-out for St. Kitts and Nevis, and I think Antigua as well, with respect to the full implementation of the CARICOM free movement. Let me state it clearly that St. Kitts and Nevis has not signed on to this. Last roundtable, there seemed to have been some, I would say, miscommunication, not on my part, but I'm not accusing the press of it at all. Maybe persons who were listening and intended to misinform the people. So I wanted to state it categorically. I think that's categorically enough. I also want to say that we discussed the issue of regional security and crime. We were able to form among heads, three of us to lead on this, including chairperson, Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados, along with the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, we have a new Prime Minister now, and we'll know exactly by the 18th, 19th, 20th of this month who will be there. But whoever the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago will be a member of this, and myself. And so we have engaged three principal persons to deal with this. We are looking at a criminologist, a public health expert, and we have asked a retired judge from Belize to head to chair this three-person lead to deal with the issues of regional security and crime. We have not yet identified a health expert, which we are going through, and I communicated recently with the chairperson, the Prime Minister of Barbados.
Many persons were concerned about the free movement protocol regarding the ability of institutions on the islands to cope should there be an influx of persons into the country. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
The license granted to the government of Trinidad and Tobago by the Office of the Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, and the United States to pursue the monetization of cross-border gas with Venezuela has been revoked. Prime Minister Stuart Young made the announcement at a media conference on Tuesday afternoon. TTT News has more.
We have now been informed that our license from OFAC, which is dated the 18th of December 2023, has been revoked by OFAC. And that license is now revoked by OFAC, as well as our Coquina mannequin license. It came a little while after the others. What I can tell Trinidad and Tobago is I don't have more details than that.
Prime Minister Stuart Young assures that government's legal team is already working towards a solution and explains there is a grace period before the revocation of the license goes into effect.
There is a wind-down period. So this is not an immediate. All when OFAC does this, you will see, even when they're done it with Chevron, all of them, they grant you a wind-down period. So the wind-down period for this is until the 27th of May, and that allows you an opportunity before it kicks in fully for you to engage with the United States, which is what we're doing.
The Prime Minister was more or less prepared for the outcome following his meeting with Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Jamaica last month.
I am, to be honest, not surprised by the outcome, because they did say that they did explain to me the US policy and what they were trying to achieve with respect to Venezuela. But the words that they would not harm Trinidad and Tobago, I believe, I have no reason to doubt it whatsoever, remain in play.
Prime Minister Young maintains that the development is not at all a failure on the part of the government.
I stood here for the last two post-cabinet press conferences and told you about the success, for example, that BP is turning on additional production. So we have continued doing exactly what needs to be done. So don't buy the narrative of those who try to say all of the eggs are in the dragon basket. It's the complete opposite. So you've seen, if you ask the people in the energy industry in Trinidad and Tobago, you've seen that rise in activity that has kept us stable at 2.6 BCF a day of production.
The Prime Minister says the government will continue to pursue the realization of cross-border gas deals with Venezuela, not for today, but for the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Karen Cozier-Phillip, TTT News.
The United National Congress's deputy political leader David Lee is unbothered by reports that the Director of Public Prosecutions, the DPP, intends to re-initiate prosecution against him. Lee stated he would leave the matter to his legal team, adding that he has no feelings about it. However, his former constituents in Claxton Bay and prospective constituents in Caroni Central have mixed emotions. Some express support while others believe he should have contested another seat. CNC3's Darius Polo has more in this developing story.
As David Lee prepares to contest Caroni Central, a traditional UNC stronghold, in the upcoming election, his former constituents in Claxton Bay believe he could have easily been re-elected despite his legal challenges. When asked if they think he would have lost, opinions varied.
No, I don't feel so.
No, he will still win around here. He always win.
Others feel his legal issues may have affected public perception.
Probably it would have.
But what do the constituents of Caroni Central think?
With the result, with the court ruling now, his chances are greater. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Caroni Central.
In Caroni Central, it clears the air.
I find it a little selfish of him. He could have picked another area where, I could say it's a weak area where he could have probably make a difference.
At least one resident is insisting that Lee performs.
Once he do a good job, that is all the people that want somebody to represent the people. What she condition is, right? Come out and meet the people, see what's going on.
Lee was charged in September 2022 with misbehavior in public office and conspiracy to defraud after allegedly purchasing a Mercedes-Benz for a businessman using tax exemptions afforded to parliamentarians. He was acquitted on Monday due to insufficient evidence. Doris Polo, CNC3 News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Devontae Hanna of ZNS News in the Bahamas tells us that the Office of the Prime Minister's Communications Director, Latre Raming, speaks on Monday's new credit rating for Moody's.
Well, it's a cautiously optimistic outlook for the Bahamas. In its latest review, Moody's gave the Davis administration a vote of confidence, which for the first time in nearly 20 years shifted the country's credit outlook from stable to positive. Now, Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latre Raming, says this upgrade now sends a major signal to the rest of the world.
The Bahamas is back on solid footing, and it didn't happen by chance.
The ratings agency credited the revision to what it called meaningful fiscal consolidation over the past 2 years, as the country grappled with the insurmountable loss left behind by 2019's Hurricane Dorian and the economic fallout linked to the coronavirus pandemic of 2020.
Moody's cited our return to a budget surplus prospect, our declining debt to GDP ratio, and the structural reforms we had put in place to improve revenue and control spending.
Still, the B1 rating remains, meaning the country is considered a high-risk borrower or under the junk status. Raming says the Davis administration is hoping for more flexibility in credit ratings as the country is highly susceptible to external shocks.
But we are hopeful and positive that in the next 6 to 12 months that we could continue to see a further trending upwards with the Bahamas credit rating.
But according to Raming, Prime Minister Davis, who also serves as the Minister of Finance, views this as a major step forward and a sign of hard work.
Over the last 3.5 years, the Prime Minister has led a national effort to stabilize our finances, rebuild trust, and lay the groundwork for a stronger, more resilient economy.
Moody's has cautioned that any setbacks in fiscal consolidation or failures to implement could reverse the positive momentum. But for now, the message to investors and the international community, according to Director Raming, is clear.
We are in a stronger position today than we were 3.5 years ago.
Now, of course, Moody's says it will continue monitoring the country's fiscal discipline and resilience to those external shocks that we mentioned. A full upgrade in the credit rating could be on the horizon, barring unforeseen circumstances.
A new gun amnesty is now in effect in Antigua and Barbuda, with a clear message from the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda. Turn them in, no questions asked. ABS's Jamie J. Roger reports.
It's an offer with no strings attached, but one which seeks to save lives in Antigua and Barbuda. Acting Police Commissioner Everton Jeffers is urging anyone with an unlicensed firearm or ammunition to turn them in between Monday and the end of this month. The message: no judgment, no jail time, just a small reward and a safer Antigua and Barbuda.
As I said, it is for you to turn it in. You turn it in, no questions going to be asked. And when you turn it in, if you turn it in, there will be a small reward. You can't want anything better than that.
The preferred drop-off spot is police headquarters on American Road between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. But if that's out of reach, you can go to your nearest police station.
Some people might live in Bowlands and don't want to come all the way to town. They can turn it in there, and then Bowlands Police Station will bring it into town. But we're asking, if you're in the St. John's area, you can turn it in at police headquarters on American Road. After tomorrow, we will designate another place, because some people might not like the idea of coming to police headquarters.
But what if the gun was used in past criminal acts? Well, Acting Commissioner Jeffers says they still do the test, but you won't be arrested just for turning it in.
You turn it in, but if it is tested and it is a hot firearm, then we will have to do our investigations.
If you're scared to bring it in yourself, you can give it to someone you trust, a pastor, a friend, and they'll do it for you. The police say no names, no questions, just action. The top cop is also calling on churches, community groups, and especially parents to step up. If you suspect your child has a weapon, now's the time to act.
If you as a parent know that your child has a firearm at home and you did not know how to dispose of it, this is a good time for you to come to the police and say, listen, I found this in my son's room and I'm turning it in. When you turn it in, we take it from you, register the number, what have you not, and you go. If you are one of those who are seeking the reward will be given to you.
Whether it's fear, regret, or simply a fresh start, the reason doesn't matter. Every firearm surrendered, that's one less weapon that could destroy a life. The message from police is clear. Bring them in. No questions, no excuses. The door is open, but only for a limited time. From police headquarters, I am Jamie J. Rocher reporting for ABS News.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. reassurance we give. It's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.